Hello, and welcome to the YouTube channel of the Spokane Association of Realtors, the voice for real estate in the Intermountain West. My name is Tom MacArthur, and on the date of Thursday, January 7th at 10 o'clock in the morning, we recorded the association's first ever fully virtual installation banquet. Of course, we didn't have the banquet part of it all, but we did have the installation piece, and you're about to see that here right now. The Spokane Association of Realtors was founded in 1911, and its 110-year history, this is the first time we have ever done an installation event virtually. Of course, in 1911, they didn't have the technology that we do today, but now that we have the technology, I think we've deployed it quite well. So I hope you enjoy the show. If you were one of those who were installed, congratulations. And if you've ever had a year of service to the Association of Realtors, thank you for your service in the past, and thank you for staying in touch for the future. Here it is, the 2021 Virtual Installation Banquet for the Spokane Association of Realtors. Enjoy. Here's our task list for today. We're going to say thank you to our immediate past president, Tom Clark. We're going to say welcome and congratulations to our new president, Eric Johnson. We're also going to be joined by members of the Women's Council of Realtors and the Young Professionals Network as they each install their own directors and leadership in this new year of 2021. That's our agenda. We expect it to take about an hour. So get comfortable in your slippers or whatever uniform you're wearing for today, and plan to join us as we make history here at the Spokane Association of Realtors Virtual Installation Event 2021. If you are a veteran, would you please stand? And let us thank you for your service, either active duty, reserve, retired. Please stand, because we're about to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we want to recognize you first and thank you for your service. Now, would the rest of us please stand as we welcome 2020 President of the Spokane Association of Realtors, Tom Clark, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. President Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Am I the only one that these things hook their glasses every time they put them on? Do they? Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad I'm not alone. Since you're standing, please join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Tom, thank you. You may be seated. I want to give a couple of shout outs to two of my staff colleagues here this morning. Tammy, who is a producer of our adventure here together today, and she was about half an hour ago helping me iron the flags to make sure that they were crisp and presentable and brand new and official. And so we thank her for every little detail to make this event possible. We also thank our staff colleague, Edward, who's our IT director and innovation director here at the SAR. He is the one who is bringing the digital signal to your computer or handheld device so that you can see us in real time. If you are watching this at 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, January 7th, 2021, you're watching live from the global headquarters of the Spokane Association of Realtors in Spokane. If you are watching this at some other time, this is a live recording of that event. Either way, you're watching history here at the SAR. Talking about history, our first installer today is part of the history of the National Association of Realtors. You may know that the NAR was founded in 1908. For the first 30 years, women knocked at the door and were not allowed in. They weren't considered worthy of membership in the National Association of Realtors. So they formed a separate women's division in 1938 and said, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it with each other. And they did, proudly, the women's division of the National Association of Realtors. We know it today as the Women's Council of Realtors, and they are fully integrated into the National Association of Realtors, and proudly so. So we begin with them. Our first installer earned her real estate license in 2000 and immediately immersed herself in the profession. Along with her 20-plus years of experience, she is deeply involved in the profession, serving on local, state, and national committees. This year, she is a board of director for both Florida Realtors and National Association of Realtors, as well as RPAC President Circle Sterling, our contributor. Now you know why they let women in the NAR. Pamela is her first name. She joined the Women's Council of Realtors Greater Palm Beach County in 2004 and served as the local president there in 2006. In 2015, she served as the Florida state president. This year, she is honored to be the Women's Council of Realtors National President. Would you please join me in welcoming and giving a warm Spokane welcome to the national president of the Women's Council of Realtors, Pamela Banks.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. I think I'll have to take you on the road. That was great. I am very excited to be with all of you today, and I am honored to be the installing officer for the Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington. Although I have never spent a whole lot of time in your state, I have visited your airport in Seattle many times. I'd like to say that the Women's Council of Realtors is an organization of experiences and opportunities. We choose not to be a women's rights organization, but rather to focus our efforts on providing our members with the tools and the resources they need to be the best that they can be. It begins when we join, it builds when we get involved, and it gains momentum as we continue to improve with engagement. We are the voice of leaders, women and men, who want to belong to something bigger than themselves, a place where like-minded professionals come together to discuss real estate issues and do business. Our members are involved in every level of the real estate industry, and our organization has been recognized by the National Association of Realtors year after year for the highest contributions of their affiliates for RPAC, which is the Realtors Political Action Committee. We are very proud of our members and our organization. And with that being said, we are very proud of the Spokane Eastern Washington members and those leaders as well for the impact they're making on the industry and their communities. However, as we know, with every organization, there is a time to lead and a time to follow. So this time we're going to pay tribute to the retiring officers, and we're going to salute the incoming leaders. At this time, I want to recognize the 2020 leadership team of the Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington. President Jennifer Shoup, President-elect Carmi Bigham, Secretary Marilee D. Meir Colson, Program Director Georgina Olson, Membership Director Mindy Jo Lyons. In the service that you have given to the Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington, you have undoubtedly earned the respect, appreciation, and gratitude of your membership. We are all truly mindful of the work that you have done and the time that you have dedicated. We also honor you for the achievements that you have obtained. I'd like to say personally, thank you for a job well done. I now vacate these offices. Before I get into the official installation of the 2021 officers, I would like to share with you one of my favorite quotes by John Quincy Adams. He says, "If your actions inspire others to do more, be more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader." This reminds us that leadership is not a role or a position. It is an attitude of service to others. As I call the names of the 2021 officers-elect, appointments, and office and directors, they will come forward on the screen. Events Director, Christy Hamby. Hi, Christy. Your duty is to ensure the development and delivery of timely, relevant, business-oriented education with industry and networking events, and that will attract a high level of participation from members and the real estate industry at large. Membership Director, Kathy Wall. Hi, Kathy. Kathy, your duty is to conduct outreach strategies to communicate the value of the network and the Women's Council brand, as well as engaging prospective new and renewing members. Secretary, Mindy Jo Lyons. Hello, Mindy Jo. Your job as secretary is to ensure proper reporting, take the minutes of the governing board meetings, assist with network compliance and correspondences as requested by the president. Treasurer, Cami Bigham. Hi, Cami. Your office is to ensure strategies and systems are in place to support the financial health and integrity of the network, as well as ensure proper reporting and network compliance with all state and federal laws and regulations. President-elect Ken Sachs. Ken, you will support the president in fulfilling their duties, build leadership skills, and prepare to assume the presidency in 2022. You should also be working on developing and maintaining productive relationships with strategic partners to ensure satisfaction and support of network activities. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 President, Jennifer Shoup. Jennifer, you are honored to be installed in the highest office the Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington, can bestow. To you, we will look for the kind of unselfish leadership that will bring success, harmony, and achievement in 2021. You will provide leadership and direction for the network, keeping your team focused on the mission of the Women's Council and its business plan. You will act as the local voice for the Women's Council brand, articulating the value of the network, representing the Women's Council throughout the community, and setting the tone for active member involvement. For the entire leadership team, in the positions you are about to assume, you will be identified as the officers of the Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington, dedicated to the best interest of the public, the profession, and the welfare of your members. As part of the 2021 leadership team, you are entering into a new phase of service, cooperation, and leadership. You will exemplify the best that realtors have to offer to our profession and communities. Guard this trust carefully and give full measure of your time, qualities, and leadership. If you are ready to accept the responsibilities of your offices, please raise your right hand. Right hand. That's right. Okay. Do you solemnly promise and swear to administer the office to which you have been elected or appointed to the best of your judgment and ability, conforming to the bylaws of the Women's Council of Realtors, observing and enforcing the Realtors Code of Ethics, and supporting all activities and interests of the Women's Council of Realtors at all times? If so, please answer, I do promise.
I do promise.
Do promise.
Promise.
You may lower your hand. It is my honor, by the virtue of the authority conferred upon me, to declare each of you to be duly and officially installed in your respective offices, and I extend to you my congratulations and best wishes. This team is going to work together to put on successful events, to provide education, member value, leadership development, and I know they're going to have some fun along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the 2021 Women's Council of Realtors, Spokane, Eastern Washington Leadership Team. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Madam President Pamela, for honoring us with your presence this morning. I want to say how grateful I am for 2020 and the growth and opportunities that we found last year. The challenges were met by our outgoing board and strategic partners who believed in our mission and supported us through the adjustments. Thank you, Cammie, Mindy Jo, Marilyn, and Georgina for your leadership, dedication, and honor to carry out our 2020 vision for inclusion of all who want to be part of our outstanding networking, education, and leadership development. Our team efforts required trust, collaboration, and accountability, and your contributions allowed us to thrive when you rose to meet our ever-changing missions. While our focus was on our own partners and members, little did we know that last year would spread our reach not only to our local network, but also our state and national families too. So great job, and thank you sincerely. Congratulations to our 2021 board. This year will be a year to rebuild, press forward, and prosper in our new environment, where we will mentor new members and welcome back seasoned members while we continue to develop a network of inclusion for both women and men, as well as realtors and partners. I thank you for your willingness to take this opportunity to lead our network. Your integrity of commitment to your role is vital to our organization, and you will be rewarded with tremendous personal and professional growth, as well as valued relations and friends. I look forward to experimenting, innovating, and creating an amazing year as we bring others along with us on this journey. Women's Council, now is the time for you to become the exceptional leader that you were designed to be. Take this opportunity to ground yourself first with self-leadership, and then elevate your thinking to bring out the best in others as we pull them up. You are compassionate, you are strong, you are courageous. You are Women's Council of Realtors. Thank you.
Congratulations, President Shoup, and thank you, President Banks, and all of our good friends with the Women's Council of Realtors. I'm liking this virtual thing. How about you, huh? Isn't this cool? We have another affiliate organization with the Spokane Association of Realtors. It is the Young Professionals Network. And a lot of the new technology that's coming around, a lot of the new ways and trying new directions for this association are being tested, tried, and proven there. When you think of the first act of real estate in Spokane, it happened on the banks of the Spokane River many years ago. Two men by the name of Scranton and Downing pounded a stake into the ground in 1871. And so we've been doing real estate in the area ever since that time. And the highest practitioners of the trade are in the YPN, the WCR, and here at the Spokane Association of Realtors today. The immediate past president of the Young Professionals Network, Matt Side, is now going to virtually come forward and install his 2021 team as we welcome the new generation of the Young Professionals Network of the Spokane Association of Realtors. Mr. Side.
Tom, thank you so very much. I very much appreciate you facilitating today. So I'm going to say a few words, thank a few people, and then I will introduce your 2021 Young Professional Network president, and then allow her to introduce her board of directors for 2021 after that. So in the spirit of gratitude, I have a few people. First of all, I want to thank our local association and the leadership within that association, as well as all of the staff. I have been the YPN president now for 2 years and have been very grateful for the support that I have found in the leadership and the staff of the Association of Realtors. I specifically want to thank a few people, though, that were instrumental in bringing me into this role. I have to thank Cynthia Gustafson. She's the one who tricked me into becoming the president in 2019. Tom Hormel, who has been highly supportive at a state level in getting me involved in the state association on some committees, and to the 2020 president, Tom Clark, for his support locally. And obviously I could thank many more, but those are the three that just stood out to me the most. I want to quickly recap what Your Young Professional Network accomplished in 2020. We kicked off our 2020 year with an all-day leadership retreat, and this was the first time that we had done that as a YPN. And the National Association of Realtors actually flew in a YPN director to help facilitate that event. And from that, we updated and modified our mission and vision statement, as well as created the 4 pillars of the Spokane Realtors YPN, which are leadership, mentorship, community, and education. In January, we had our largest Growth with a Purpose event at the Fox Theater. If you remember, I know it seems like a very long time ago, we had Ethan Butte, who is the CEO of BombBomb, who spoke on rehumanizing your business with video. And none of us realized at that moment how important connecting with people by video would be. So that was an excellent event. We also had community fundraiser events. Probably our largest one was early in the pandemic, where we decided to support families of childhood cancer and local restaurants by buying basically gift cards at local restaurants to give to families that needed meals while they had children in care. We joined with WCR and our association in a blood drive. And then we wrapped our year up with an online coaching event, Get Into Gear, for business planning for next year. And then finally, a family-friendly magic show over the Christmas and New Year's holiday to support AQuinn again. So with all the detours that we had in 2020, I'm very proud of the YPN, the Young Professional Network, and all that we've accomplished. Now, I would like to introduce to all of you your 2021 YPN president, Bree Campana. And while her, while her camera is turning on, I have a quick story about Bree. The first time I met Bree, she's nervous, and she probably should be. The first time that I met Bree was on the Women's Council of Realtors YPN joint cruise in 2019 that we did on Coeur d'Alene Lake with Coeur d'Alene and Spokane YPNs and WCRs. And she cornered me and said, "Are you the YPN president?" I said, "Maybe, depends." And she said, "I've got some ideas for what you guys can do to be more impacting in our association." And it was at that moment that I knew sometime in the near future, Bree was going to be running the show, and I'm very excited to pass the torch. So with that, Bree, are you ready to take your oath of office?
I'm born ready.
I know you are. All right, Bree Campana, you are charged with certain additional responsibilities and obligations, in that you must be a leader and an organizer in a willing and enthusiastic manner, ready to sacrifice personal interests for the good of the organization. Please raise your right hand. Bree, do you solemnly swear and sincerely promise that you will administer the office of president of the Spokane Young Professionals Network to the best of your ability?
I do.
Will you, in all of your acts as president, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the Spokane Young Professionals Network?
I do.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I do hereby declare that you, Bree Campana, are duly and officially installed as president of the Spokane Young Professional Network for the year of 2021. Congratulations, Bree.
Woo! Thank you.
And you may say a few words before you introduce your board.
Yes, absolutely. No, and hello, and it's great to be with you here today. I want to start this off by saying thank you to each of my board members of YPN for nominating me to be the 2021 president. It has been an honor working with you all over the past couple of years, and I am thankful for the opportunity and trust to take on this new role as president. Individually, I want to thank Abby. Without you reaching out that one day on the YPN cruise, I would not be here today. I often find myself thankful that you reached out and asked me to be a part of this organization. That uplifting gesture has ultimately brought this huge blessing into my life. Lastly, thank you, Matt, for being a solid role model in terms of what a president should look like. You led this team through one of the toughest years ever, and you handled it all like a pro. I appreciate your helping hand and the guidance you have shown and given to me. 2020 definitely threw us some curveballs, but the game is still ours to win. We have all learned valuable lessons, added tools to our tool belt, creating new and improved ways of doing business, bringing us out of our comfort zone, forcing us to adapt and grow despite our circumstances and situations. If anything, this setback has upped our game. Matt's side shared some of the accomplishments, and I want to highlight those that are impactful to me. Looking back, our Growth with a Purpose event was a total hit. Looking back now, the content was totally spot on. Key takeaway was how we should be using technology and video to create meaningful ways to touch base with our clients. I don't think any of us realized the level of technology we would be adding to our everyday businesses and lives at the time. So in hindsight, we nailed it, team. We held a fundraiser to raise money for the American Childhood Cancer Association of the Inland Northwest. We partnered with 5 local restaurants and took donations that were then turned into gift cards to those restaurants. Those were then handed out to the families and children affected with cancer here locally. We took it a step further and also made sure some of those donations went to the first responders and medical staff helping these children. We were just shy of $3,000, so when that's broken into $25 gift cards, a huge impact was made for the small businesses, the children, and families. We collaborated with Women's Council and the Spokane Association of Realtors to create a quarterly blood drive. Giving blood can and does save lives. Spokane is a small city. Chances are you know someone who has needed blood at some point in their life. This is a powerful way that we can unite and make a lasting personal impact on our local community. Not too long ago, we had a business planning event getting into gear for 2021 with motivational speaker Sean Carpenter. It was packed full of information and left everyone supercharged. My biggest takeaway was this: life is built on choices, not chances. We need to all bet on ourselves and invest our time, energy, and beliefs in who we are and what we want to do. To create a family event, we brought in a magician and encouraged one to bring their kiddo for a fun and mesmerizing break. We all need that. Lastly, as a unified board, we set our standards and created our 4 pillars, officially establishing at the core of what YPN is all about and the benefits it is intended to have and create for not only us agents, but affiliates and our community. Leadership, education, mentorship, and community. This is YPN at the very foundation. Giving one meaningful opportunity to grow in different aspects of one's life. We all know it's the little steps and opportunities that we take that make the difference. I end with this, a quote by Anatole France. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. My goal for us as YPN is to do just this, dream, believe, and plan so that we can act and create the 2021 we want to have. Now, I would like to introduce our YPN Board of Directors for 2021. Immediate past President, Matt Side. President-elect, Chase Baxter. Treasurer, Justin Gray. Secretary, Joy Wood. Membership, Tony Bryan. Events, Abby Parsons. Social media and marketing, Stacy Overton. Sponsorship procurement, Hayden Halstead. Community outreach, Diversity, Lacey Thomas. Last but not least, Advisory, Stephanie Johnson. YPN, you have been selected by your peers to provide leadership to your association for the coming year. In this capacity, you became a public servant and a servant of your members. You are dedicated to the best interests of the public. You are to provide leadership to our members by both action and example. As officers and directors, you will earn the respect of the public and your peers by the unselfish giving of your time and talent to further the worthy goals of your association. You will be known as a leader. Now I ask you to raise your right hand to take the oath of office. Do you sincerely swear that you will administer your office and directorship in the Spokane YPN to the best of your ability and judgment in conformance with its constitution and bylaws?
I do.
I do.
That you will observe and enforce the Realtor Code of Ethics, that you will endorse and support Washington Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors.
I do.
I do.
That you will observe and help enforce the real estate laws of state Washington, that you will provide unselfish leadership dedicated to the best interests of your organization and its membership, and that your honesty and fair play will govern your actions. So help me God.
I do.
I do.
Okay, then by the virtue of my authority as installing officer, I hereby declare you to be duly installed and inaugurated as officers and directors of Spokane YPN. Congratulations, and may your term in office be noteworthy. Woo!
Yay!
Congratulations, you guys. You're gonna do awesome.
Nice job, Bree.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Bree.
Edward, thanks for doing a terrific job keeping us all connected here today. This is glorious. I'm liking this. I'd like to invite our executive officer and our soon-to-be immediate past president, Tom Clark, to come forward in a moment. I met Rob Higgins, our executive vice president or XO executive officer here at the association. Gosh, what was it, Rob? 30 years ago? He was on the Spokane City Council at the time, and I was a reporter at Creme Television, and I remember holding a microphone in his face and asking about something he had just done on the dais. And Rob threatens that he still has that interview on a VHS tape somewhere in his office, and we're not going to see it here today. But I'll ask him to come forward as we borrow a line from the installing National Women's Council president. There's a time to lead and there's a time to follow. So now we have a time to follow for our soon-to-be immediate past president, Tom Clark. There is a process and a procedure to thank him for his good work in the pandemic year of 2020. So to direct that piece of our program, Rob Higgins.
Thank you very much, Tom. You know, this is always a highlight for the, as we start out the new year, as we say, or recognize our outgoing president. Tom Clark came in this year, all the energy that a new president possesses, and we're thrown a curveball. And his ability to address the association and work with the association under unprecedented conditions was remarkable. And I've commented to Tom many times, we're very privileged to have him as our president in 2020. At this time, I'm going to present Tom a few awards or memorabilia for him to keep for his performance this year. First, Tom, I'm going to just leave this here as a pen presented to our outgoing president each year. In addition, we have this plaque that you can put in your office. Yeah, huh. And the plaque says, presented to Tom Clark, President, in appreciation of your dedicated service and quality leadership from the Spokane Association of Realtors 2020. So Tom, I'll stop by sometime this year, hopefully, in your office and make sure you got this hanging on the wall. Anyway, this will be with you forever. And also from the membership and the staff, we have a little gift to you for your year as president. It was a remarkable performance, and we're all very proud to have been able to work with you and have you in our leadership as president in 2020. So with that, I'll ask Tom Clark, our outgoing president, to come forward and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you very much. I've mentioned to a few folks this year that it was not short of a target-rich environment. Let's put it that way as far as for things to do. When COVID hit, everything kind of got derailed, and I'm not the only one to have experienced that. You guys have much more than I in many cases. So preparing for today, my 40-minute presentation that I was just told is only going to be about 10 minutes. So I'll pare it down just a little bit here. It all started out with me dropping a bunch of 3x5 cards off of the podium, for those of you that might remember that. And then it kind of got worse from there. So, but it caused me to reflect and to take a step back and say, okay, so, before the alligators were up to our armpits, what was the original, idea was to drain the swamp, right? To pull the plug. And so I decided to look back and see, so how did we do it pulling the plug? And what did the alligators do to throw us off course? So for those of you that were at the installation this time last year, I mentioned 4 key words: cooperation, participation, engagement, and involvement. Cooperation amongst members, the fact that we get a lot more business done by cooperating than we do from competing. And I'd like to say that I think that there were some unintended benefits from COVID, some things that we didn't anticipate. And I think cooperation was a great deal of that. It forced many of us to work a lot closer together than we probably ever thought we would. So I think we met that challenge, maybe with a little bit of assistance from a fairly negative influence. Participation, I haven't verified this, but I'll let the fact checkers to determine whether I'm correct or not here. But I believe the committees, as full as they were this year, were as full as they've ever been. And the volunteerism in the organization was probably as high as it has ever been. And I felt very good about that. So participation, I think we did very well. We had some surveys that tested or that measured our involvement and our engagement. And those numbers came in pretty positive. I'll not steal any of Eric's thunder because he may want to talk about those. I'm going to say from an engagement standpoint, judging from the text messages and the phone calls I would get at 8 o'clock at night, I think we probably were fairly engaged. And then also involved. I went back and I didn't count them, but I think there were 12 Zoom meetings or 12 presidential roundtables and probably 4 or 5 other videos that we did in order to keep everybody on task and in tune and up to speed as far as what in a moving and changing environment. So those things being said, there's a few people I would like to show some appreciation to. Many times throughout the year, I've told you how incredible the staff is around here, and boy, they're showing it again today. Just unbelievable staff that we have. People that don't get enough appreciation are those folks that step up and chair our committees. And so I'd like to just give them some quick appreciation. Jim Palmer this year has been the chair of our MLS steering committee. MLS has always got a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on. And Jim has done a very, very good job, stellar job at leading the MLS through some of these changes that we've experienced. Christy Hamby with Budget and Finance as our chairperson has set the bar, just pure and simple. She's come with a great deal of energy and a great deal of ideas and a whole lot of good intent in order to help our budget and finance process become much more fine-tuned and much more effective. Greg Hansen has been chair of our Professional Standards Committee. Professional Standards learned how to do hearings by Zoom and were handed their own challenges this year, and they've done an exceptional job, as has Stacy Gregory with the Grievance Committee. So those things have been going on just fine. Laura Branning is the chair of our Communications Committee. Communications has been very active in a whole lot of different things. You know, for years, the pet project was the weekend open house, the open house weekend, I should say. And of course, you know, as with our, and I'll mention Gina Mosey at this time with our special events also, there were lots of meetings and lots of postponements and lots of adjustments, and a whole lot of flexibility was experienced and was exhibited by these people in all those committees and especially the chairs. So I want to thank them very much. Professional Development Committee was Mike Crowley's the chair of that committee. It used to be our Education Committee. We learned how to do classes by Zoom. We were able to start very early on in COVID and offer free classes to our members, many free classes to our members in order to help them with their continuing education. Mike's committee was very instrumental in that. Forms Committee did a lot of work on the data, the MLS data sheet and the listing data sheet. And of course, there's always a push on let's fill those forms out and let's get them filled out correctly and get the best information we can to our members. Brittany Inglis is the chair of our Government Affairs Committee this year, and Brittany's done a stellar job. Lots of moving parts, legislative issues, from selecting candidates to support to tax issues and just a whole bunch of stuff. The greatest of which, of course, was the COVID and how we were going to work with the governor as far as getting back to work and becoming deemed essential and allow our members to continue to make a living. And that's probably the biggest thing that we did this year. Darren Watkins is the Government Affairs Director. He's been extremely instrumental in getting some grants for us, getting some surveys done and some studies done in order to give us the evidence or the ammunition, I guess, for lack of a better term, to go to our legislators and our elected officials and appeal to them to consider some things that would make housing a little bit higher on their priority list as far as legislatively. Membership committee was Ken Sachs. Ken is president-elect, if I remember correctly, Ken, of the membership committee for the Washington Realtors this year. Ken brings a lot of passion and of course video training and things like that are some things that he's been very instrumental in this year, and he wants to carry that on, and I think that's going to serve us very well. Serving our Spokane committee, the clubhouse kind of took a back seat. We're no longer volunteering at the clubhouse because of the COVID issues of showing up at the hospital. They don't want us there. And so that's been sidelined this year. So we picked up a couple of other balls, one of them being the blood drive. And of course, we still support several charitable organizations every year through our SOS committee. And also SOS committee is in charge of our Realtor Emergency Relief Fund. If we had a certain member, let's say, for example, one of our members, if they lived in Malden and their house burnt down, we would have probably helped them with some of their bills along the way. So that's what that committee is all about. Special events committee I mentioned. Doug Giuliano, I think the last one that I haven't mentioned is Doug Giuliano with our tech committee. Lots of tech things, lots of tools that our members can and might be using. And the tech committee's job is to, I guess, test drive those tools and test drive those programs and see if they'd be benefit to our members. So I just wanted to thank all of our committee chairs. I want to encourage each and every one of you to consider being volunteers in committee if you're not already. And once you, I think you'll get the bug. Once you get on a committee and you start being part of the decision, then you're going to get hooked. And one of these days I'll be mentioning your name probably as a chairperson. But I won't say that I had a great year or a fun year, but I had a challenging year, and I think we all did very well as a result. I think we rose to the challenge, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. Thank you. Get my stuff.
Thank you, Tom, for your clear leadership in a cloudy year. But there's always a new horizon and a better day to come. Our next installer I'll ask to come forward now is Tom Hormel. He has a couple of titles of his own this year. He is soon to be installed as the 2021 Washington Realtors President, and also at the national level, a National Association of Realtors Director. He will install our new officers and directors, the class of 2021, if you will, for the Spokane Association of Realtors. Mr. Hormel, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Tom. And I just want to say thank you to Tom Clark. What an amazing year he did. All of those challenges, people either step up or they fold. And Tom stepped up like no one else could have. So thanks again, Tom. One of my favorite quotes is by Gandhi, and it's "Be the change you want to see in this world." And Tom, you were that change for the association last year. So thank you so much. So I'm going to introduce our incoming new officers and directors. President-elect Eric Etzel, Secretary Doug Hagood, newly elected directors Elizabeth Anders, Gwen Arand, Gregory Barkley, Desda Finn, Lee McIntyre, and Brittany Inglis. So these are our new directors and officers. You have been selected by your peers to provide leadership for the association in the coming year. In this capacity, you will become a public servant and a servant to the membership. You are dedicated to the best interests of the public and dedicated to provide leadership to the members by both action and example. As officers and directors, you will earn the respect of the public and your peers by the unselfish giving of your time and talent to further the worthy goals of the association. You will be known as a leader. I'm going to wait for 1 second so we can get all of you on there. All right, we have you all. So I'm going to ask all of you to raise your right hands for your oath of office. Do you sincerely swear that you will administer the office of directorship in the Spokane Association of Realtors to the best of your ability and judgment, and in conformance with its constitution and its bylaws, that you will observe and enforce the Realtor Code of Ethics, that you will endorse and support the Washington Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors, that you will observe and help enforce the real estate laws of the state of Washington, that you will provide unselfish leadership dedicated to the best interest of your organization and its members, and that honesty and fair play will govern all of your actions. So help you God.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Then by virtue of my authority as installing officer, I hereby declare that you are duly installed and inaugurated as officers and directors of the Spokane Association of Realtors. Congrats, and may your term be noteworthy.
Thank you, Tom. Tom and
Thank
Tom.
you.
And now I'm going to mask up and ask my good friend, Eric Johnson, to come up. Johnson, you are charged with certain additional responsibilities and obligations, that you must be a leader and an organizer in a willing and enthusiastic manner, ready to sacrifice your personal interests for the good of this organization. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and sincerely promise that you will administer the oath of president of the Spokane Association of Realtors to the best of your judgment and conformity to its bylaws?
I do.
Will you in all your acts as president be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the interests of the Spokane Association of Realtors?
I do.
Then by virtue of the authority confirmed upon me, I duly and hereby declare that you, Eric Johnson, are officially installed as the president of the Spokane Association of Realtors for 2021. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, so now I have to do a speech. All right, well, let me take this off. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know there was going to be a speech, is there? Sorry. First of all, I want to thank you all for trusting me to represent all of you, to represent this association, to represent the membership. It truly is an honor. And for those of you who've known me for many years and have we've interacted through various means of leadership. You know how much this means to me. You know how much this organization means to me personally. I believe in this institution. I have ultimate faith in the staff, in my leadership team this year especially. I'm very excited for that. Like I say, it's an honor. So thank you. I'd also like to thank a lot of people who have supported me up to this point, especially my leadership journey. And I'd like to start out with my family, my father and mother, Leroy and Christine. Just as an aside, and I left my phone over there. Can you grab my phone for me, please? Sorry. Thank you. There has been, in the history of the association, there has been three relations that have been president, and then in the second generation has been president. So the father-son presidencies over the 110-year history, Ford S. Barrett in 1921 and Ford A. Barrett in 1937. R.J. Burns and Dean Burns, and that was in 45 and 56. They may have been brothers. And then James S. Black in 1965 and Dave Black in 1994. I'm sorry, I said three. There was actually four. And then Charles Sullivan in 1966 and Terry Sullivan in 1990. Now, my father, Leroy Johnson, was president in 1974. And here I am, president in 2021. So it's an honor also to carry on the legacy and follow in his footsteps and live up to hopefully his expectations. You want to put Leroy on for a second? God, get me off the screen for a second. Silly. Oh, can you turn on his video for him? I did ask, but he's too. Oh, Dad, you need to select on there. This may be a challenge, people. Welcome to my everyday. Yeah, Dad, you have to. Yeah, there you go. We got you.
I know how to do that, Eric.
I know you don't, but look at you. You look great. 89 years old, people. Look at this guy. He's an animal.
I always tell people that the outside might look all right, but the inside sure is lousy.
So Dad didn't have anything prepared to say, but I want to ask you, do you remember the day you asked me to be a part of the business?
Well, not exactly, but I encouraged you to get active in it. I know that. And I want to say that looking at your total program up there, they've come a long way. I want to say first hello to Rob Higgins, longtime acquaintances and friends, and the great job he's doing up there for you folks. And I can't believe the number of committees and people involved in the group that was that far exceeds what it was when I was president. I think at that time, Rob and I may be thinking back at the time when I used to go out and knock on the realtor's door, real estate companies' doors to join the board. And it was a job just getting people involved in it, but it's come a long way. And I'm real proud of Eric at this time to become the president. He's done a very good job in the real estate business, and he's got a good family, and I can't tell you how proud I am of him. So congratulations, Eric.
Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. And every a couple other people, and you don't have to be on the screen anymore, but so I'll tell the story of how Dad got me into the business. He took me to Zips one night and he said, Eric, here's the deal. If you get your real estate license, I'll give you 100% on your first commission. And to which I responded, that would be like $2,000. I can retire on that. And so hence my journey began. And it's been the best thing and the best decision I've ever made in my life. So, okay, I'm gonna keep my emotions together here. Holy cow. So I also like to thank obviously my family, the rest of my family, my wife, my children, Stephanie, Gabrielle, Danica, for your patience with me over the years and all the time I've invested in this, and I couldn't be at home. So thank you. My brother and sister, Melinda Denton and Neil Johnson. Obviously we built this together, and we continue to build our businesses and our, I'm so blessed to have a family that gets along, and we actually work together on the daily and we all still get along. So that's very special to me. I'd like to thank my realtor family and those along the way who have influenced me. This is a lot of people, but I pared it down to the people who just really stuck out in my mind. Steve Flynn, who's no longer with us. Gary Fox, who's no longer with us. Those of you who've continued to support me and continue to be a big influence. Terry Sullivan, Steve Franks from Washington Realtors, Tom Hormel, and I have to mention Tom Clark. The shoes I have to fill this year are huge. So I hope to be half the man he was this last year, because he just did a spectacular job. So, so thank you all for that. And then everyone else who I've either mentored, worked with, trained, had cross sales with, I've learned something from everybody along the way. Some awesome lessons, some not so awesome lessons. And I think it's made me a better person. So again, thank you. My theme this year is Better United. And I was inspired on that theme over the past year with the challenges that were brought on. We've had some very spirited conversations. We've had some significant rule changes. We've had some significant additions to Code of Ethics. And what I felt was at the end of all of that discussion and difficult, consternation, was that we came out with the best decision, and we came out better because we let everybody speak their piece. We addressed the perspectives as best we could, and we came out with a great decision, in my opinion. And we did that because we're better united. And so this year we still face challenges, and I believe we can solve these if and we will be better united in our continuing fight to strive to be more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. I think we're going to be better united in our advocacy efforts, especially at the state level of taxation and inventory issues. And by the way, legislative days are coming up. You all are all invited to participate in that, so you can see what we do and the messaging that we are bringing to the legislation this year. And so that's a That's a real neat thing with this remote access. I think that's a great opportunity for you to kind of pull the curtain back and see kind of what happens at Hill Days. Awesome. And then I think we're better united in honoring our profession. And Tom Clark talked about this last year, and that's really the cooperation. I believe that this is a team sport on a certain level. Obviously, we're competing for business. But we are, when we're honoring the profession and taking the drama out of our transactions, we all look better. So again, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to represent you. I look forward to this year. I have all the confidences in the world of my leadership team. I'm so excited because I think we're up for the challenge, and I think we're going to come out of this year better united. So thank you. Now to the important part of the entire operation, the drawing, right? So let me mask up here. And if you want to, do you want me to?
I'll pick a name and I'll tell you.
Oh, okay, so she's going to.
They're still connected.
Okay, so Tammy's going to pick a name and tell me. You still have to be on, must be present to win type of a deal. So
And
hang.
the first is for $50.
And the first drawing here is for $50.
Ron McIntyre.
Ron McIntyre. Whoa. Are you sure that's not rigged? No, yeah. Congratulations, Ron.
The next one for $100.
$100 on this drawing.
Pam Novell.
Pam Novell. Congratulations, Pam.
And the third drawing is for $150 and it's for Shannon Grady. Yep,
So congratulations, Shannon
Grady.
Grady. I'm sorry, Shannon Grady. That's a $150 drawing that you just won. So and so Tammy will be reaching out to you, call you and organize the prizes. Yeah, checks in the mail. Right. So again, thank you all for your time today. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch and recognize the leadership, and because this is all volunteer. This we don't get paid the big bucks down here, but we all believe in what we're doing, and I think, like I say, we're going to move forward better united. So again, thank you so much.